So as we close down this mini series on Pentecostal movement, charismatic movement, and this idea of the gifts being for the church today, we come back to scripture and we go back to chapter 14 of 1 Corinthians, and Paul says, so with yourselves in verse 12, since you are eager for manifestations of the Spirit, strive to excel in building up the church. Once more, as Paul corrects the Corinthian church for misusing the gifts, and he actually says earlier in the chapter that he wishes that they all spoke in tongues, but even within the Corinthian church, not everyone was speaking in tongues, but many were misusing the gifts. And Paul reminds them that as they do these gifts, or they do them in their way, they were just edifying themselves and speaking to themselves. And Paul sarcastically says, only God could understand you and no one else could understand you. So as we understand the gifts, we have to understand their purpose. And part of the purpose for the apostolic gift of speaking in tongues was for the edification of the church by new people coming into the church, hearing their own language being spoken and hearing about the glory of God in their own language. Paul then clarifies and says, I wish you all prophesy, because that way they understand what you're saying.